I know exactly what to do, but I'm avoiding it. If this sounds like you, whether you're launching a campaign, making a hire, trying to make more money in your business, trying to scale the business, we always tend to delay the high leverage tasks that we know move the business forward. In this video, I'll explain to you why we tend to avoid these tasks, how I personally overcame this, and then give you a 3-step framework that you can implement to make sure that this never happens for you ever again. That one task that you've been putting off is probably the key to your next revenue jump within your business. Here's how to stop doing it and finally do the thing. So first off, we need to understand why. Why do we avoid those tasks that we know are good for us? First off, it's uncomfortable. Any task is never going to be nice if you know that it's something that moves the business forward. I'm going to use the example of cold calls here. It's going to be uncomfortable. Why is it uncomfortable first off? Because we allow things like our emotions to take over. We allow the voice inside our head, the former version of ourselves, the version that doesn't want to grow and develop, that resistance. We allow that voice to get into our head. And finally, the uncertainty of it as well. The uncertainty of outcome. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. So instead, I'm just going to sit in comfort. So instead, I'm going to not go full steam ahead and focus on this task. I'm just going to do the easy stuff because I know what to expect and I know the outcomes that I'm going to get from that. Very, very simple to understand why we avoid these tasks. So for example, for me, I suffered with this for a while and it was cold calling. I had a massive fear of rejection and the fear of the unknown. And so I would just, in the morning, instead of going and doing the cold calls, I would go and do a different task. Something to do with running ads or client setup, anything like that. Anything that would make me feel like I'm doing something, but that task that I know I need to do. And at the end of the day, I would sit down and I'd think, I haven't left everything on the table here because I've just avoided this task. And I'm sure you feel the same. And so the next step, we're going to dive into how to overcome this. So this is my 3-part process on how to beat the task avoidance. So one thing to say first off, if you are struggling, and sometimes it can be something as simple as you are exhausted, you are burnt out. And if that is the case, you need to find the key things that are going to help you overcome burnout. Burnout is something that can be quite severe if you just are going balls to the walls constantly, not recovering, not helping yourself out, not resetting your brain, for example. And so this thing that you need to do, you need to understand what it is. For me, is going for a walk, listening to a podcast, and just reading my manifesto that I've written for the year. That's my reset. The other reset for me is going sauna, steam room, swim. Just allows me to just relax, be able to feel good, and also just like detoxify any toxins in my body, just gets rid of it. I do love a nice plunge as well, although not that nice, I'll be honest with you. So the first step here is identifying the task. And if you're not journaling already, you need to start journaling. And what you're going to do is you're going to answer the question every day, what is the task that I avoided today? And if you've written something in there, then you know you haven't given it your all and left everything on the table. The question I want you to answer is, what is the task that I'm avoiding that is going to grow my business the most? Now, we're very good at thinking about this stuff in our head, but when you get it down on paper, you can physically see what it is. And if you get stuff down on paper, it takes stuff out of your brain. It takes things and thoughts, all of this stuff that's going on in your head, because as business owners, we're thinking about so many different things. And so if you put this down on paper, it's going to take it out of your mind and just allow you to breathe first off. Once you've identified what that task is, you are going to block out that time in your calendar where you are going to do this. Now, my advice to you here, do this first thing in the morning when you wake up. I have a cold shower when I wake up. I take my supplements and electrolytes, and then I'm straight to deep work. I don't even think about it. The shorter you can reduce the time between thinking about the task and doing it, the less resistance you will have to doing it. And so you need to smash it. And if that means you don't brush your teeth, you just get straight out of bed into work, then so be it. But that's gonna be the stuff that you can tell people when you've scaled your business to 100, a million, a billion a month. That's the thing that you can tell people that you did to start off with. That's the difference between the people that grow and scale their businesses to 6 figures or 5 figures a month and the people who just carry on working and are happy with what they're doing currently. So once we put this into our calendar, first thing in the morning, we need to make sure we time block it. So for example, from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., you're doing your dials, your cold calls, for example. And once you've hit 9 a.m., you're done. But no other distractions apart from the task you are doing. If that means you have to block everything else out on your Mac or on your phone, so be it. But you block everything and all distractions out, so the only work that can be done is that task. Because what you'll find when you're doing that, it will get easier and you'll also get better at it. And when stuff gets easier and you get better at it, you enjoy it more. Now, once we've time blocked this task, we're going to break it down into micro tasks. because we might say do cold calls, but what does that actually mean? So within your time block, let's say you've done this on Google Calendar, within the description section, you're going to write the timings of when you're going to be doing stuff and hitting the numbers. So for example, from 7 a.m. to 7:30, 50 dials, 1 meeting booked. You can attach yourself to the outcome if you want to. I don't recommend that. I just recommend doing the input. And the input is going to be 50 dials within 30 minutes. Once you've done that, then the next block, another 50 dials, and you're going to break it down granularly. And what that's going to allow you to do is think less about what you need to do, because you've chunked it in block, you're able to achieve that in that time. Now, if, for example, 30 minutes isn't enough, you don't have access to a power dialer, for example, then you might have to make the work block longer. So be it, but that's going to be the thing that's going to make you money. The most important thing here is just to detach yourself from the emotion or the outcome. Ignore that voice in your head that's telling you don't do this, because the more you do the stuff that your voice is telling you not to do, 9 times out of 10, it's the stuff that's going to grow and develop you. And you're going to love it, and you're going to become addicted to it. So the final part to this 3-step framework is the accountability. You need to tell your team, film yourself doing it. Whatever it is that keeps you accountable, you need to discover what that is. For example, if you complete this task, then you can do this task next that you know you've been putting off for a while. Because what you'll find is you'll get into a flow state when you start doing these harder tasks. It'll make your life so much easier. You'll get more done and you'll make more money in your business. That task you're avoiding is the thing that's going to push your business forward. So I'm going to give you an example that's very relatable to me, and it might be relatable to you as well. So when I first started my business, I really struggled to make cold calls and dials. And so one thing that I did was I blocked everything out apart from the app that I used to make dials, and that was it. And I really struggled with that at first, but I knew if I only had that thing to do, I had to do it. And yes, it was painful. Yes, I didn't like doing it, but I did it at the end of the day. Another example, when there was a deep work block that I needed to get some client setup before done and I kept putting off, I physically got in my car with my laptop and my charger. I drove to the nearest hotel lobby. I walked in, I sat down, asked for a glass of water, and 4 hours straight, I was working on the business, doing client setup. Sometimes you need to take yourself out of your environment to be able to achieve something. And if that is the case, then hey, look, that's okay. Some people might say that's a waste of time, but if it makes you more productive, go for it. Find what works for you. Find those things that are going to help you to focus further and keep yourself accountable. Whether it's changing your environment, putting stuff down on a task list, whatever it is, focus in on it. Now, if you like the video, guys, then feel free to like, comment, or subscribe. No pressure whatsoever. If it's not your forte and you're not enjoying this sort of stuff, then no problem whatsoever. Go and click the unsubscribe button. But with that being said, it's been absolutely awesome talking to you guys. I hope you have a fantastic week so far, or end of the week, wherever it is. And as always, guys, remember, always, always, always take action.